Hello and welcome back to the Travel Lounge here at Big Sky Anglers in the basement. Today we are going to tie JoJo's green drake. That flight came up a few years ago now. We're going into our fourth summer, and I started tying that during green drakes on the Henry's Fork in the shop. And yeah, that fly works really well down there. It also works on the Madison. You can tie this in various different colors. I tie it in green for the green drake or olivey. I tie it all the way down to a Batis in a size 18 and a size 16 because why not? And we also tie it in a rusty spinner version and a PMD version, and we're toying around with a March Brown and a excuse me, a Drake version, right? A Drake mackerel version for over there on the Soda Butte in Yellowstone Park. But today we're going to tie the JoJo's green drake. So I use a Tiemco 100R. You can use a Tiemco hook for that. You can use these MFC hooks. Today I'm going to be tying with that MFC hook right there. We're also using a olive biot, right? Olive turkey biot. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. Superfine olive dubbing. Moose hair for the tail. And then grizzly hackle. Olive dyed grizzly hackles. And of course for the wing, widow's web. Right? You can use white, tan, you could even use black. We have black ones in the shop. That black one is great for low light conditions or really spooky fish. If you look hard enough, you can usually see a size 10 dry fly, no matter the wing color. So we'll start off with size 10. To dress that hook, I'm using olive, rusty brown, olive thread. I really like how this finishes at the eye of the hook. You can use any color you want, but that red thread at the head, at the eye of the hook looks really quite sexy when we're done. So we'll tease this out, this olive super fine dry fly dubbing. Okay, might as well take those off. Roll that on there pretty tight. This dubbing ball at the back, this does a couple things. It makes the tail, the moose tail, flare out, and then it just looks really nice butted up against the biot. So I've already cut these, pre-stack them. This moose tail looks nice. You could also, you could use other tailing fibers, but I like the moose. The moose looks really classy. Anytime I can put natural fibers into a dry fly, I try to do it. It just looks really cool. I wrap those forward. I still use that pinch method. I don't want those to slide around. And then I wrap back towards that dubbing ball, and you'll watch that dubbing ball, it'll just flare that hair perfectly. And that helps for flotation. Also, mayfly spinners have really long tails, so you know they tend to break off. I like to have several of them on there. Then we're going to go to the biot. So you peel that biot off, you'll notice that biot has a notch on it. So we go notch up, and that'll get you a nice flat ribbing. If you tie it notch down, you'll actually have a ridge all the way down your fly. You could do it that way. If you do, no big deal. It just looks clean when it's nice and flat. So tie that in, go back, come forward, and then I'm going to trim these. I trim things on an angle. They lie down nicely if you trim them on an angle. Trying to keep this body relatively skinny because I'm going to add hackle and dubbing. Okay, now widow's web. I'm going to tie that wing in just like we've been tying those other wings. This is trim those butts. Tie that in with the pinch method like so, and I bring it back about 1/4 of an inch from the eye. I want to be able to post that up. Not necessarily post it up, but I'm going to prop it up. It's a comparadun wing. Again, on the back of this fly, I'm going to cut on an angle. And that's going to help tie it down and have a better transition for wrapping that biot up and towards the wing. So you notice I spin that to give me a little different profile to see how the transition is going. That's building that thread up. For now, we're going to leave that widow web wing forward. It'll help when we tie everything off in the end here. So we're going to bring that biot around. And again, you're trying to make that ridge go away so that notch up as you wrap forward will do that. You might have to overlap those wraps just a little bit in order to get that notch to go away. This part's a little tricky right here. Got to come around. Notice I'm using my thumb, nails, in order to bring that around. And I'm going to bring that thread and grab it, grab that biot to help anchor it in and then grab it. And I'm going to cut the rest of that biot off with a little bit of wing material and then tie that down. Then we're going to come in front of that widow's web wing and build a bit of a dam there, thread dam. That's going to help post that wing up. And I'm going to flare it a little bit like a compare-done style. And those little fibers can kind of shoot out and around it. Originally, I tied this fly as a rusty spinner on the Madison. And then I lost that fly for a number of years, kind of forgot about it. And then found it again. And when I did find it, I thought about green drakes on the Henry's Fork. So I grabbed some materials one morning at the shop. This is in 2017, and I wasn't guiding that day. It was early June, mid-June. Green drakes had just started. So like June 16th, 15th, somewhere in there. And I tied a few in the morning. Jonathan came in, looked at them and said, hey, can I steal some of these for the river for my trip today? And I was, of course you can. And so he took them down. He came back in at the end of the day. He had lost all 6 of them that I had tied. He had one that was like beat up and whatnot. But any rate, he was like, you got to tie me some more of those. So I did. And the next season, we got that fly custom tied for the shop. And the rest is history. So I started that hackle in, did a few turns behind it, came forward, did a few more turns in front of it. I'm going to clip off those fibers right there. I'm going to finish that fly with that red thread. Looks pretty good. And then we're going to whip finish. Cut. Looks pretty good. Let's slide some glue in there. Some head cement. Again, I use the liquid head cement with a little eyedropper on it. I come in and I give a little extra glue into that hackle. Helps make that fly a little more durable. Then I'm going to turn that fly over and I'm going to trim it flush with the bottom of the hook. There you go. JoJo's green drake. Can't wait to fish that fly down on the Henry's Fork. Come here.